All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about how we continue working while we are asleep. But before that, we just want to let you know that we have rebranded. No longer GK Ventures, just Gregory
and Kayla.
All right, so today again we'll talk about how we hired our team.
Yeah, so we wanted to hire a team for a couple different reasons, but one of the main reasons was leverage. Basically, we can't do everything ourselves, and having people help us out with all of these different tasks with our clients and with our own business was super helpful in leveraging our time and our money. The other thing is that when you hire out, and the way that we hired out, that we'll tell you about in just a second, is that it's a little bit more affordable for us. So we're starting out a business. Obviously, we don't have like a Google budget out here. So finding people that could fit within our budget while still meeting our expectations was something that we really wanted to find. So yeah. Do you want to tell them how we hired?
Absolutely. So there are a lot of websites out there. I'm sure people have heard of Fiverr and Upwork, which is great. But in order to support the people or my peoples in the Philippines, we use onlinejobs.ph.
Yep.
And if you are interested, there's a referral link in the description below. But yeah, we decided to use onlinejobs.ph, and it's been working out pretty well. There's kind of a long process, kind of an involved process, but it's a good learning process that we'll go through right now and tell you how we did this.
Yeah, so what we did was, the first thing was we wrote a requisition or a rec. And this is basically this description that you would see when you're applying for a job. So it's gonna have things from, this is the job title, this is what you're doing, and this is how much you'll make. And we wanted to be really specific with the information that we put in there. So it took a little bit of iteration. So we put the pricing, obviously, like how much we would pay you, either if it's like a one-time job or if it's hourly. And then we would put the description. So this one took a little bit of iteration because at first we were like, oh, just, do Google Ads. But that requires a lot more work. So what we had to do was break down the different steps and essentially put a better description in there so that they had the right expectations coming in. The last thing that we did too, which was really helpful, at the very bottom, we would put a special instruction. So this could be like, take a look at our Instagram and give us an idea of how you would change it when you apply. This basically filters out individuals who read through the entire requisition and allowed us to see who could basically follow through. So that was our writing a rec process. But if you want to talk more about the screening process we went through.
Yeah, so step 2 is screening the candidates, and part of what Kayla said was we had a little instruction at the end because our description was like this long, and it's at the very bottom so that we know that people who are applying read through the job description, got to the part where there's a specific instruction and they actually execute on it, because otherwise you get so many kind of job requests and they're kind of generic, like, hey, hire me, here's my resume, but it's kind of like an initial filter. Another filter we got, shout out to Chris, we used these thing called Snippets. We use one on our Chrome browser called Text Blaze. But basically, because you're going to be saying the exact same thing for most of these responses, like, okay, please send me your resume, or please schedule a time, you can have these shortcuts on your keyboard where you can, use snippets. And so the way we usually do this is we see people who follow our instructions, and then we will send 3 individual messages with an expectation of them replying to each message, so that we know that their response time is good, they're actually engaged, they're not just kind of like generically looking for a job. And then on their 3rd message, we have a message that says, okay, we'd like to chat more. Please schedule a time on our Calendly, which really helps too, because it gets rid of the whole like, when are you free? Oh, I'm free here. And then when are you free? Blah, 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 especially across a time zone across the world. So it is very helpful to just have Calendly and then block out your availabilities and then send it to the candidate that you're interested in to book that scheduled appointment.
Yeah, that's been super helpful for us, not just with the business, but with personally. So if you're looking for a way to kind of segment your time, that's a great tool to use. So after the point that we got them on Calendly and they scheduled a time, we'll go through the interview. Basically, this is a place to go, okay, you're a real person, I'm not being catfished, and we can get a better sense of like how the culture will fit and if they live up to their portfolio, really. So obviously, we get some really amazing portfolios that maybe, they're not the best fit for us at the right time. So that's what we like to do when we interview. We have basically a set of questions. we like to template this out because, it takes a lot of time to think of these. And we'll ask them various questions from, what do you expect from this job? How much, would you ideally like to get paid? When can you work? And, just gives them time to learn about our expectations and then also ask us any questions. So it is a good place to really understand, who am I hiring and why? So after we go through the interview, we will actually hire them based off of if we like them or not. So if you'd like to talk more about that process.
Yeah, and a little bit more about the interview. So we have, in our template, we have 2 sets of questions. So Kayla talked about the second set, which is kind of the generic, what do you want about the job, your hours and stuff like that. But the first set is actually about the job itself. So we ask if it's a social media person, we'll ask social media related questions. Mm-hmm. And so we have that in mind. And again, I'd say with any interview process, it's sometimes you'll get candidates and they're completely not what you're expecting and not a good fit for the job and just cut off the interview, right? And then others you'll get superstars and anywhere in between.
Yeah.
But in any case, we finalize our selection, we hire someone, and the first thing that we actually have them do is fill out this tax paperwork. So we're not tax experts.
Please get your official tax information from a professional.
Right. So please consult your tax advisor. But per the website onlinejobs.ph, because these workers are in the Philippines, they're kind of like non-local contractors. Yeah. So we don't have to account for them in terms of taxes or any extra tax paperwork. So there is a thing though that they do recommend. It's filling out the W8BEN, I believe, or W8BEN, which is basically a tax paperwork that says that they confirm that they are working on foreign soil, not on the US, and you can just file that for yourself. Yeah, so that's what we have. And then we also make sure that for the first few months or so. Yeah,
we have a trial period. It's like, Netflix used to give you the first 14 days for free. We kind of do a version of that. It just helps us understand, is this person actually the best fit for us and for our company and also for them, because we want to help them grow and find the best fit for their lives as well. So we run this trial period for about 3 months. It's kind of like probation in the US, but it allows us to get a better sense of, where we think they're going to go and how we can direct them and if we think they're a good fit. Obviously, if they get past the trial period, it's a different set of expectations and kind of a work relationship from there. But I think, have really liked it for the last few months. I think it's been really helpful for us. So, yeah.
And it's a learning process, I'd say. I mean, again, in this trial period, sometimes they work out, sometimes they drop out beforehand, or sometimes we cut the trial period short, so it really depends.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's kind of an overview of how we hired our team. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to
subscribe,
and hit that bell notification. And if you guys are curious about, if you're new to the channel.
Yep, and curious about how we started, what we're doing, and what we'd like to do in the future, please check out our How We Started video. It is going to be linked below. I think it's pretty entertaining. You might enjoy it too, and you might learn something about us. So go ahead and check that out. But otherwise,
I think that's it. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks so much.
Peace.